Hi, my name is Brad Durby. I'm one of the vice principals at Fletcher Academy, and I've been in Adventist education for over 35 years. I was the youngest of five, and growing up on the farm, we would go out to play, and I just wanted to be a part of the whole group. And I was 4 years old when I first started playing, and I was the only left-hander in the family, so I always had to use a right-hander's glove backwards. And we would go out in the cow lot and play baseball and throw the ball around, and I'd end up getting frustrated because my brothers really didn't cut me any slack, and I'd go inside and cry for a little bit and then miss it and come right back out. At the age of 7, I had an opportunity to play one summer because my brother was actually playing in an 11 and 12-year-old league. And so I got a chance to play Pee Wee baseball. And that was my first time of playing against kids that were my own age. And I was so much better than the rest of them because I had already been playing for 3 years and playing against people that were so much bigger than me that it really wasn't even fair. And also that summer, because we didn't have a babysitter, whenever Randy would have a game, I would go along with him and I would go to his practices, and I was the bat boy for the team. And there was one game where the last batter on our team wasn't batting very well, and so at the age of 7, the coach calls me to come up and bat. And so I put on the batting helmet, and it's like swimming all over my head, and I get into the batter's box, and I was so nervous because of all these big kids out there, and I ended up getting a hit and hitting in the winning run. And from that, I thought, this is great. I'm going to get a chance to do this a lot. And then I didn't get a chance to play again for 5 years because we were so far out in the farm that Randy couldn't play anymore, and I didn't get a chance either. Then we moved to town when I was 12, and I had an opportunity to play that summer, and I didn't know a soul in town. It was a totally new area, and did the tryouts, got a chance to make the team, and the coach knew that I couldn't play on Friday night or Saturday, and so I was able to play that year, and I did really well for the team and played first base there, but I was still really short. And so while I played well, when it was time to move up to the next league the next year, I was so much shorter than the first baseman. He was like 6 feet tall, and I think I was like 5'7", that he got a chance to play and I didn't. But I worked hard, and I treated every practice like it was my game, because it really was. I only got up 10 times that entire year, but I got 4 hits out of those 10 at bats, and that just led to the next year when all of a sudden everything just took off, because all of those older kids graduated and moved on to high school level, and I got a chance to play more. And there was one game that summer where we ran out of pitchers, and so the coach asked me if I would go in to pitch, and so he had to show me what I needed to do as far as my footwork. But once I did that, I didn't give up a run and ended up being the best pitcher on the team by the end of the year. And that carried right on into high school, where I again was one of the better players on the team, and I was one of the better hitters on the team, and ended up getting a lot of conference and even county and state recognition for my play. And finally, my senior year, I had an opportunity to have someone make notice of me being a Seventh-day Adventist, because we were in the postseason tournament. It was raining on a Thursday afternoon, and if the game would have been postponed, they would have played it on Friday night instead of on Thursday, but the rain stopped, and I got a chance to pitch, and Actually, the title of the article was "Rain Stays Away, Derby Pitches, and Nevada Wins." And so then they explained the Sabbath issue. And that had been one of my goals all the way through. And one of the biggest blessings for me was being able to not have any undue pressure to have to play on Sabbath. In fact, on Friday games, because the sun went down so late, I would play the first hour and then leave a half an hour before sundown. And it gave notice to the Adventist culture. I don't think all of my teammates really liked it because I would pitch for the first hour and then leave, and it was a struggle after that many times for them. But it did give me an opportunity to show that I was convicted and committed to Christ through that experience. I was very blessed to have the opportunity to share my faith as well as play baseball. That carried on to college. I didn't even think I was going to go to college. I loved baseball. It was always a dream for me to be able to play in the pros, but I wasn't that great at school because I worked full time from the time I was 16 on because we were so poor. And I was offered a scholarship to go and play at a college in Iowa. I was the first person in my family to ever go to college. And I ended up playing really well there too, and received regional and state recognition at Des Moines Area Community College, and our team was very good. My second year, we almost made it to the national tournament, and that was a big hope for me because I had received 2 offers to play in the minor leagues, one from St. Louis Cardinals and the other one from the Cincinnati Reds. But they both wanted me to give up Sabbath. And I knew that I just couldn't do that because God had given me my talent, He had given me my abilities, and I couldn't turn my back on Him. And so towards the end of my second year, my grandmother at the age of 80 actually sent me a letter and offered to go back to work because she knew how poor I was if I wanted to go to Southern Missionary College. And I really didn't want to because I wanted to be a pro baseball player. But unfortunately, we didn't make it to the national tournament where more teams would have had an opportunity to see me, and maybe someone would have allowed me to not play on the Sabbath. It ended up being the best thing that ever happened because while my dream was closed out that day, God's dream for me began that day that we lost and didn't have an opportunity to go to that national tournament. When I had an opportunity to go and visit Southern Missionary College, I had a chance to look around and actually had one of the students at the school that was giving me a tour. And because I was really still reluctant, because I knew that I was giving up my baseball career, I was coming up with different excuses why I didn't think that maybe it would be a good idea. And finally, he stopped me. His name was Scott Sager, and he stopped me and he just said, "Hey, listen," he says, "you're going to find whatever you're looking for wherever you go, but if you're looking for God, He's in this place." And I knew at that very moment that I was going to Southern Missionary College. And so I was still a little bit of a rudderless ship, but I went there and I got involved right away with a lot of the different sports that they were doing there. And I had a great time socializing with the people and getting to know them. And in the meantime, the teachers really made a big difference in my life. And for the first time in my life, I had someone that looked at me as a student and as a soul, really, and not just as an athlete. In high school and college, I would get grades given to me sometimes just so that I would be eligible. And the first time that I got a D on a paper at Southern, the teacher actually called me in, and I thought I was in trouble. But the teacher asked me, "What can I do to help you? What can I do to help you be the best that you can be?" And it totally blew my mind. I didn't know what to think because I actually had someone that had confidence in me for the first time. So one of the things that I would like to leave with you is that all that glitters is not gold. I actually had my dream to play professional baseball, and I came close. But if I would have become a professional baseball player, my life as I knew it at that time would have ended very soon, because the average athlete only stays in the pros if they make it that far for 3 or 4 years. And then what? But God had a better plan for me. He had something planned for my entire life. So for all those young people out there that are trying to figure out what you want to be, instead of looking for the thing that maybe has the most flash or seems like it's the most appealing, actually ask yourself, what does God want me to do? And look for a safe place to do that. And that would be one of our academies. We'd love to talk to you at Fletcher Academy for sure. But if there's any opportunity that you have to be in one of our Seventh-day Adventist schools, I encourage you to do that, because God has a big plan for you. And it might be different than the plan that you have, but I guarantee you it's a better plan. It's a more peaceful plan, and He only wants you to prosper and be happy.